Hey, this is Toe 2 Bravo and we're out at the range again today. It's raining. It's early in the morning. Temperature is pretty nice. Good day to be training because it's raining, right? Kind of cliche, but what the hell. Hey, what we got out here today is our Gen 3 Glock 19 hybrid, Glock number 1, the black Glock, that I've installed the Larry Vickers flat faced trigger in. See it there? That's why we're out here today. We're going to go ahead and shoot this today. We're going to go ahead and shoot this for groupings. Excuse me. We're going to shoot this for groupings at 5 yards first, just to see how we group with this new trigger. See if it's anything different than the OEM trigger. Maybe our groups will be tighter. Who knows? We'll see what happens. And just to get a general feel for the trigger, we did a review on dry fire, install, and initial impressions. Nothing too scientific, right? But still kind of neat to see if the flat face trigger makes any type of performance difference. Enough yapping. Let's put some rounds down range. Glock flat face trigger for accuracy. All right, here we go. Rounds down range. Larry Vickers flat face trigger. Here we go. Let's do this for accuracy. Here we go. 5 yards. Not the best group, but a tight and respectable group, that's for sure. So we'll go down range and we'll take a look at this real quick. Second series, Glock flat face trigger. 5 yards again. Let's see what we get. 8 rounds this time. Failure to feed, huh? That's bizarre. I'm riding the slide lock, slide release again. It's really starting to become a bad habit of mine. All rounds complete, everything grouped fairly well there. It is shooting, if it makes sense, I don't know. But it is shooting and grouping a little low. So it's grouping well, it's grouping tight. But as you can see from the view here, it's a little low. My point of aim's at the fiber optic is at the top of the circle, and I'm impacting much lower than my point of aim. And it might be the trigger pull. I don't know. I can't think of any other reason why. I know that if I use my Glock OEM trigger setup on this, I always rave about this thing shooting like a laser beam. But I mean, it is accurate. We just have to adjust our point of aim. I think I almost prefer the OEM over this. I may put this in something else. I may put this in the Polymer 80 and put my OEM setup back in here. We'll shoot it a little more. I'll go ahead and move the target out a little ways. Enough yapping, and let's shoot at 10 yards and see what we get. All right, Vickers flat face trigger. 10 yards. Try to keep my hand off the damn slide stop. 10 yards for accuracy. Here we go. Shooting really low. we're not consistent here today for some reason. Very inconsistent. All right, and another failure to. I locked the slide back. Really a bad habit I'm picking up. Alright, last several rounds we got target, but the first several were really low. And I wasn't shooting low with this until I put this trigger in. It might be, I wonder if I'm pulling it down at the final moment when I'm pulling the trigger. I'm pulling because it's a flat face trigger. I might be pulling it down a little bit. Hey, this is Toe2 Bravo, and we're going to go ahead and wrap up the range visit with our Larry Vickers flat face trigger there. You know, it functions fine, it feels fine, it doesn't rock my world, and it's not something that I think is earth-shattering for me. Someone else might absolutely love it. For me, it's not that big of a deal. I actually prefer my OEM trigger over this. I think I'm going to go back and reinstall my OEM trigger setup in this. So that's just my mileage. Your experience might be totally different. If I were to do it over again, am I upset because I bought it? First of all, no. It was only $43. I'll put it on my Polymer 80 build and I'll leave it there, and it'll be a novelty item along with the Polymer 80 lower. But would I go out of my way to purchase this and put it on my pistol? I wouldn't. That's just my opinion. I don't think it's that big of a deal. It definitely doesn't improve my shooting. So really, that's basically it. There's nothing more to be said. Hey, this is Toe2 Bravo, and we're just going to do a quick wrap up here to the Vickers Tactical Flat Faced trigger video. You guys just watched some range footage. Obviously, we're back at the bench, and you can see I removed the trigger from my black Glock number 1 here, and I've put it in the Polymer 80 lower, and I think that'll be the permanent home for the flat face trigger. I wasn't a big fan of it. It affected my accuracy in a negative way. I didn't like the feel overall. The dingus and the bottom of the trigger is it's kind of a pain in the ass. It definitely interacts with the tip of your finger in a negative way for me. That's my experience. And I do think it's a little thick, and you get a little rubbing in the between the trigger and the frame, especially on the OEM Glock frame. It does fit just a little bit different here on the Polymer 80 frame, and I'll get it out to the range and I'll shoot it in the Polymer 80 frame. But this isn't a go-to frame, so I can't think of a better place to put a non-go-to trigger. So overall, I would give it a you know, it didn't perform horribly, but it didn't perform good. You know, I wouldn't buy it if I was in the market and I was watching this video as possible fodder to purchase or not purchase. I wouldn't purchase a Vickers Tactical Flat Faced trigger. There's probably better triggers out there for probably $10 more. You can get a Lone Wolf adjustable trigger, and it's aluminum opposed to polymer. So I think maybe I'll get one of those and go that route and try one of those. So this is Toe2 Bravo. Hopefully you found this video helpful. Definitely wouldn't I wouldn't give it a thumbs down, but I'd probably give it a thumbs center mass. So really nothing more to be said. This is Toe2 Bravo. I hope you appreciate the video, and until I see you out at the range again.